झूमता गगन है छाया आसमान में जहां देखो झूमता गगन जमीन आसमान झिझ गया झूमता गगन मेरे झूम ले जहां ये कैसा नशा प्यार का समा वही समा झूमे आसमान होश खोले प्यार तू ले ले संग मेरे झूम गा कैसा नशा होश है कहाँ होश तो खोले प्यार तू ले ले संग मेरे झूम गा Alrighty. Hey Donna, how are you? Let me get rid of my thing here. All right. We're doing readings. Get your digits to me. If I don't have them, Donna, yes, I have you. If I don't have them, put them in the chat. Some people like it private. You can email Allastrology at Gmail. It's right there on the screen. These are speed readings. That does not mean that they're frivolous or crappy. It just means I can't spend a whole lot of time. And so usually I'm going to talk about whatever jumps out. Some folks have specific items and they want more time. So they send a gift to the channel, which then I turn around and spend more time on the chart. Trying to be as fair as possible to get through as many names as possible. So this is a spillover from our Saturday nights when we do this. And yeah, we've been trying to do it regularly every Tuesday, but you never know. I almost didn't bother today because of the tech. I had tech issues from the get-go and I thought, oh, this is not going to be good. But we'll see what happens. Let's just give it a whirl. And see, we're here, we're running. Can you hear me? Maybe I should ask that question and see if everything's working. It says everything is good, but we'll find out. Gee, it's you and me. Okay, Donna, can you hear me? Oh, nuts. And honey, hey, G. Okay, yes. You know what it is? I can show you the astrology. I'm not making this shit up. I can show you the astrology of why it's insane. There's a couple of things happening. So real quick on this chart, let me get that thing out of the way. Let me see if I can move this around. Ooh. Yeah, we want a big chart. Okay, I like that. Let me move my comment out of the way. Oh, I just deleted all the comments. All right, you get my drift. Here we go. So look at the sun. That round circle with the dot in the middle. Right there. See it? Yeah, that's at 5. Air, Gemini. Well, a square to that would be anything in Pisces or Virgo. We got something at both ends. The nodes. So yesterday and today. See that? It's a big T square with the sun. And Gemini is social media. It's your devices. This is it. Talking, communication. Yeah. And sun's also authority figures, by the way. So that's not all. Now go look at Aquarius. Look where Pluto is. 524. 524 Pluto. And here's the sun in Gemini. 535. Yep, 535. So that right there can be disruptions, can suddenly shift, surprises. So it can add a lot of strength to what we're doing, but at the same time, there's going to be that element of, oh crap, what now? So, it's just kind of the cycle we're living in, right? And we even have a moon right now in air, which is kind of helpful, right? The moon is actually trining Mercury. It's a trine. The moon in Libra, that's air, trining Mercury. So talking and communication, family, emotions, home, partnerships, significant one-on-one relationships, maybe coworkers, maybe neighbors, like that's all a big deal right now. Yep. So that's what's going on right now up in the sky. All right, Donna, you were number 1. And yeah, show me. I did, yeah. So, oh, nuts and honey. So it must be really crazy on your end, huh? Yeah. She said nuts and honey. Is that like in a good way? And you're in that really tricky cycle. Let me grab your stuff real quick. Donna. So let's see if we can get this up here. I know we can. It's just a matter of if it plays nice. And there you are. Okay, great. We got you. You know what? Let me take a look at this other one for you, though, because last time we looked at the other chart. So let's take a look at this other chart. This will kind of give us maybe a little bit more information as to the right now stuff. Why aren't you on the screen? Huh. Maybe I should go like that. That might help. Okay. So right now for you, yeah, I flipped to this other chart just to kind of see, because we know what's going on in the other one. You've got Mars at 0 in Gemini, correct? And so that means you've got Sedna and Uranus there, Uranus. And look at this chart. Look at this chart. In this chart, and just your basic natal chart without turning any transits on, look at, you have Mercury at 1, which means Uranus is sitting on a Mercury together. So fast, like lightning bolt communications, which also is lightning bolt information. And that can be information that you're getting, like downloads, learning and curiosity, your brain absolutely firing new neural pathways in your head for sure. Uranus is that energy, and so is Mercury, the mind. Uranus being the higher octave. So without turning the other chart on and getting crazy, because it's just a lot to look at. Yeah. And this for you is conjunct your 3rd house cusp line. Again, it reinforces talking and communications, siblings, coworkers, neighbors. But learning is big. Learning, teaching, being the student. Curiosity is off the chain. And maybe like Uranus is a scientific bent to it. So, God, I would love to, yeah, if you're learning some new stuff, we would love to hear about it. You know what I mean? Like, are you getting those downloads? Like, let's hear those downloads. Share them downloads. And then your 4 degree is on the 3rd house cusp line as well. So that reinforces family again, feminine energy and family. It can also increase, here's the other thing, other than talking and communication for Gemini, it is business, right? And of course the coworker stuff. But the Gemini shows us, depending upon like how it's showing up in our life, as far as like how we express it, it can show us that strong duality in our nature, where it's like we don't really have the middle ground. We're on this side or we're on this side, and we're showing almost 2 different faces at times. It can be super gossipy energy. So whether it's, people around you or people coming to you, because it's just it needs to be busy, damn it. It needs to be busy. So it can be tricky to navigate. She said, I'm trying to be polite. Yeah, you know what? I would recommend asking for help. This might sound nuts, regardless of what a person's spiritual belief is, but Aquarius, Uranus energy, then let me show you on this chart. Actually, let's pull up this one for the stuff up in the sky, just to get an extra peek as to what's going on. Okay, so this one is showing, oh, so you just had Mercury on financial, but love and values. So Mercury was just there emphasizing those things. But again, it's this, there can be confusion. There can be the lines of reality, and in a conversation might be super idealistic, meditative, something about perfection, even. But there's a kind of a health report card in values, in desires, finances, beauty, love, harmony, peace. Mercury was just there talking about that. So now let me go find that Uranus energy. Okay, so here's where this is tricky for you because in your other chart, it was Mars and Uranus together. And it is also Mars and Uranus together in this chart too. Do you see this? Again, money, finances, values. Yours is in your first house on this chart. So, but it's still Mars and Uranian energy, which can be, it's powerful. And we really have to be cautious and remind ourselves to slow down. But if we're connecting, which I think we all do in some way, whether we're aware of it or not, Taurus is unbelievably, all of its extra sensory perceptions come online. And I don't know if you are aware, are you feeling it physically in the body, maybe in the head, things you haven't maybe been aware of before? If not, don't be surprised. But when Uranus gets to that 10, right now it's at 7 in this chart, when it does get to that 10, I would expect some things to come online that you didn't realize were there. And just take it as a gift, another way to do the kind of stuff that you do. It will amp up anxious, not, I don't want to say anxiousness, but irritation. You might be physically um, irritated more easily, meaning it can be, suddenly you can only wear this, or you can't handle that smell, or you can't, you're not wearing these perfumes, and whatever. Like there are levels of sensitivities in addition to getting information. Now, going back to when I said to ask for help, because Uranus rules Aquarius, and that's ruling the realm of assistance, angelic help. So, because you have it in both charts, absolutely. Because what that does is it screams, I know I need help. I know I'm struggling through this. So, right there, it kind of knocks us down a notch to the more humble humility type of side, where we realize there's a lot on our plate and we need assistance. And so many times the stuff we're dealing with here, well, it's hard when you have one foot in that other realm. It makes it extra, extra hard. So asking for help, and especially in terms of other people, if it's unwanted attention, unwanted energy, unwanted communication, just simply say, help me now. And just see what happens. Just try it out and see what happens. And then let me know. I have been testing this. I mean, I understand, a lot of the stuff, but I just never ever thought to think to ask for things or to ever reach out for things that seemed really trivial. Do you know what I'm saying? Like just simple conversations, just simple communications, just simple events where you might be like, God, this is just going to drain my power. This is going to drain my energy. It was more like, I don't know, you get easily agitated, irritated, like, okay, I got to go, and you leave and you disappear. But it's no, there's something part of the process of elevating, of escalating, of ascending, of the humility and humble of asking for help and assistance. So see how that works and see if you get assistance. And I would love to hear a report back on how that has worked out, if it's worked out for you. Yeah, in the star room in the private lives, I would share my story. I won't do that here, but I would definitely share my story. It was pretty, I thought it was quite shocking. I was really, really surprised because I'm like, do people do this? Really? It just seems like it should be saved for the big stuff. And I guess that was part of the teaching, that we always think like those big monumental things are of the most importance. And that was kind of part of it, that it's the minutia, it's the details, it's the little stuff that we kind of just brush off that is actually a big part of it because so much of that is about our intention, our intentions. So with that, I'm gonna shut up. Let me see if anybody else has showed up. And if nobody, oh, good. Okay, oh, people gossiping in summer means spirited, which means they are on the way out. Ah, yes. Been talking. Oh, good, good, good. Yeah. Oh, Lord. Yeah. You know what? This is rough. But I'm just gonna repeat something. I was listening to a conversation. It was wasn't a podcast, it was whatever, one of those things, right? And, she's kind of an old school teacher, and she was explaining that the minute you feel as though, and I know people have said this 1,000 times before, but she's just always like, "I gotta say this, I've said it 1,000 times," and even though you may have been a person who thinks they're, like, on this path, right? Like, "Yeah, this is what I was born for, and I'm here to make a difference. I'm here to be of service," type of thing, and she would say that the minute you kind of make that statement, because we kind of elevate, like, after years, we go, like, to another level. She's like, "But you should expect every single time to immediately be faced with a challenge, and it'll be that challenge, that test to see, okay, so you're ready? So you're ready? Like, are you ready?" You know? And, I don't know, there's something kind of, I don't know, it's not refreshing, it's almost, what's the word for that? It I guess reassuring, like, "Oh, okay, this is normal. Just roll with it, damn it. Roll with it." Okay. Good, good, good. I'll email you. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, ask for help. Okay, so Donna, this might be a tech thing. It seems like you're the only person that showed up that's on, they put their name in the queue. If people want a reading, they have to put their name, say hello in the queue, or you could just show up in the chat and say hi. You could do that. I don't know if it's a tech thing, but I definitely won't sit here and spend my time. If there's nobody else, then I'll say goodbye. But if there's somebody else that wants to have their reading done, I'm literally here to help people out. And so if nobody else needs help, I have things to do. that's, that's life. Time is of the one commodity I cannot create more of. So that, but who am I kidding? I have a hard time creating more of the other commodities too. But anyway, hey, Watkinson Cat House, I see. Yeah, good to see you. How have you been? How have you been? Let me go and do a thumb. I don't know why I'm on this vertical thing. It's probably not the best place to be. I should be on the other one. Let me get rid of this. Jeez. The vertical thing makes you look like all way too close. Hmm, interesting. Let me go see this one instead. Okay, is there a chat? Nope, they're not showing me a chat. Oh, Fairy there. Hi, I see you. How are you? Oh, you know what? Thank you for asking, Fairy there. Yesterday was kind of a breakthrough. Maybe breakthrough is the wrong word, but she's in hospice now. And yesterday was the very first time that I heard her say that my dad came to visit her. And I said, "Really?" I said, "That's great news." I mean, she's been talking about him being dead for a he's been dead for over 25 years. But every day she tells everybody that comes into her room or anybody that talks to her or whatever, every helper is a new person for her. She doesn't remember anything. And that's like one of the first things she tells him. That's her identity. My husband died. I'm all alone. Like that's that, like that's such a huge part of her life. So she said to me yesterday, she said, "Well, I know this might sound crazy." And this is coming from the Alzheimer dementia patient, right? So as she's saying this, I'm on the phone like, "Okay, what?" And she said, "Your father came to visit me." And I said, That's great news. I said, "I'm really happy to hear that. That's wonderful." I said, his mom and dad are there, so are your mom and dad, so are your uncle." We just started naming because my other sibling, another person, another family member has to be there now, like, to talk with her. And, so we talked about that for a while. And it was the first. It's not, my mother very connected, when she was able to talk about it, if I can say it like that. And so this isn't something she's been able to talk about in a very long time because of the confusion with the Alzheimer's. You follow? Like but in her Alzheimer's state, she said, "I know that I know this is going to sound crazy." I was like, "Okay, let's hear it because I've heard some crazy shit. Let's hear what you got." And when she said that, I thought, "That's the most sane thing I ever heard, Mom." I said, "Mom, that's great news. That is freaking great." And then she was like, "I just wouldn't want anybody to be scared or worried." And I said, "No, nobody's scared or worried. We all want this for you. We all absolutely want this for you. This is good, Mom." I said, and she's like, "So you think everybody's over there waiting?" I said, "Yes, absolutely. They are on the other side waiting. They're saying, whenever you're ready, we're ready. We're here. So whenever you're ready, and just know that all your children are ready. We want this for you." Because the reality is the next stage for her is horrible. You don't know how to swallow anymore. Yeah, she's done walking. That's already ended, which is horrible. I mean, she was walking 6 months ago. So the rest of the stages of this sick ass stuff is, yes, walking on both sides. Oh yes, and she has done. Yep, that's absolutely, Donna. That is spot on. Yeah, yeah, and that makes life hard in general. That walking on both sides. I mean, it can be a wonderful gift, but it can also make life quite a bit of a challenge. Oh, you're welcome. It felt so personal, Donna. Really? Well, girl, you got it in two ways in that chart, and that's why it's so freaking intense. And yeah, you really got it intense because you have it happening in Gemini and you have it happening in Taurus, but it's your same planets. It's Mars and Uranus in both charts. They're just in different signs. So you're really getting like a double whammy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. But thanks for asking about that. I'm so glad I got to share that too, because it's such a great story um, of her on this journey at this stage. And the thing is there's been times because, of course, she's got pictures of family all around her, and her hospice people are like, "Yeah, we pointed to the wedding picture that, your mom and dad's wedding picture." And she didn't know who anybody was. And I'm like, "Yeah, well, this is where we're at." And sometimes she doesn't have his name. And she gave me his full name yesterday, which was a surprise. She gave me his first, middle, and his last name, like clear as a bell. And I was like, "Okay." Damn. Yeah, and it just started. The visits just started, at least that I'm aware of, because she could have had visits but not been able to verbalize. Like, she could have totally been saying things and just using the wrong words. This has been common for her for many years now. Even now, if I ask her if she's in pain, she's not able to. The only way we really know if she's in pain is if she's clutching at something. Like, she's not able to actually connect. Her brain is just not working properly to say, "My leg hurts." Thank God we have cameras so I can see, what she's been trying to scoot herself around as she's sitting in her wheelchair. And anyway, so we've been able to connect the dots for her. Oh, good. Hey, G333. Yeah, I know. Yeah. And I'm hoping that's good. Thank you for sharing that. Seriously, because I'm really hoping that this next stage for her is like a lightning bolt, literally. I'm really hoping. I mean, we think a couple weeks ago that she had another more minor strokes. We don't really know though, but there was some crazy aftermath stuff and she's just not able to communicate. And like again, she's in hospice. So you just kind of like, okay, we need one to just be like, it's over. you know, we need one to be like, this is the final one. We're not going to drag this out any longer because she's been having minor strokes for years. So it's time. And she's done. She's done. The woman gave birth to 12 babies. Um, yeah, she's done. She's 88. Yeah. Even though her mother and her mother's mother lived into their 90s till they were 95. But for my mom, she just had so many late life tragedies, late life traumas that, yeah, I don't think that helped at all. I just don't think it helped. Yeah, thank you for asking. All right, I can talk about this all day, so I won't. So after Donna, who's here? Let me go through this chat and make sure I got it. I think it was Watkinson Cat House. So Watkinson, you want me to take a quick look? Yeah, I'm hanging in there. And then after that, it would be Fairy there if you're here still. And then G333. I think I got that right. Yeah. All right, Watkinson, let's see what we're looking at since I think, of course the software wants to do an update. Let's do it because why the hell not? We're having a tech day where things could go really crazy, but let's just do the update. They don't normally take very long. And trust me, if the software says it needs an update, let it have it. Because when the astrology software doesn't work, the shit doesn't work. It's a nightmare. G333 says it's been so long. Has it been so long, G333? I think I see you almost weekly, no? Maybe I have you confused. All right, we got a crystal moon here. How are you doing, crystal moon? So remember, everybody, if you're looking for a reading, I need your digits. There's quite a few. There's some names in the chat now, and I think everybody here, I have your digits. But crystal moon, I do not think I have yours. Maybe I do, but maybe it's been a minute. But birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state, and I can start doing more readings. And I'm going to start with the person who's next in line. So that would be Watkinson Cat House. Okay, Watkinson, what's your question? Now would be the time to put it in. Okay, there she is. The Jupiter transit in Leo. Will that affect my alimony in a negative way? Oh, that's a good question. All right, let's see what this dang software, if it's done doing its thing. Let me just close it and then we'll reopen it in a second and make sure that it's behaving. Okay, let's see. All right, let's get Watkinson on here. Let's see. There we go. All right, let's get rid of this. Tropical. You know what? I might have to do that for you. That might make sense. Okay, let's get this up for you. All right, so this is showing. Just make sure we got the right chart. Make sure there's no funny business here. Capricorn at 15 degrees on the rising. Cappy at 15 degrees. On the ascendant. Oh, you're the Aquarius sun. Got it. Okay, and the Pluto will go retrograde there. Gotcha. Okay, that's in your first house. Okay. Oh, Watkinson, you're the one who's got the same moon as my mom. My mom's moon is at 1 degrees in Pisces, just like you. Yeah. And she also has something in Pisces pretty close to her moon. And you know me, after we had that conversation, I had to run and look at her chart, of course. Oh, you got a nice trine to Pluto. Okay. All righty. All right, let me take a look. Pisces is in your second house of income, shared value, shared money. You got Virgo up there. Okay. So you're saying Jupiter and Leo. All right, let's go check that out. Your Leo energies on the 8th house. I see that 28 degrees, home, family, children, romance. Okay. And you do have Regulus there too, though. That's a pretty powerful spot. So Jupiter is going to start off at the low degrees. It's going to take a year. Oh, no, actually, it's not. Jupiter flies through Leo and then it begins its retrograde. Okay, so Jupiter is going to get there in December. It stops at 27 degrees in December and goes retrograde. So realistically, then, let me jump ahead real quick. Oh, I need some water. Wait a minute. Let's go like that. Let's jump ahead. Did I say December what? Oh, man. Come on. Open up for me. Thank you. December. Okay. So let's go back a little bit. So in general, Jupiter hitting Leo is going to trine your fire energy. It's going to be a nice trine to your 11th house of angelic realm and of assistance and help. Although you do have Pandora's box there, she can kind of be a can of worms. So that's going to be a trine energy. And it is in Sagittarius. And are you anticipating, or do you know that something is being reevaluated and going back to court and being changed or challenged? Because Sagittarius can be the courtroom and the justice system and lawyer energy. And of course, Jupiter can be all that because Jupiter rules that Saggy stuff. The nodes. Let's back that up a little bit. You're going to have the nodes. Ooh, okay. Let's see, 25. Let's see if you got a square to your own nodes. Okay, so that's the thing, because you're pointing out Jupiter to me. And Jupiter is not your great malefic, Saturn is. Okay? So it would be Saturn. Saturn's down here at 8. Okay, it's on the 3rd house cusp line. All righty, interesting. 8, 4, 8. Let's see. Saturn will be at 8. That's in November, but it's this node. It's the north and the south node. You see the north and the south node? I know you wanted to hear about Leo, but the nodes are going to square your north and your south node. It's a big fixed square in your chart. So that can be a challenge. Let's see. That's in your 4th house of home and family, though. Okay. It is at 24 degrees. And that can bring about confusions. It can be authority figures, but it can be a really creative time. 24 can be a peaceful time. It's kind of a mixed bag of things. But change when the north node angles up with the square. So the other thing too, let me check your Saturn, because your Saturn is your malefic. Let me see. Okay, so that's the thing too. Your Saturn is part of this. It's Saturn, your long-term goals and the commitment energy. Wow, and even the sun is here. Okay. And you're going to have Mars and Jupiter. So your benefic is Venus. She's the one that brings the money, the goods, the protection. She's in your ninth house of the law, and it's in Libra. That's good. That's a good thing because she's your great benefic. Okay, that's a trine to your sixth house cuspine. That's a trine to your vertex. Ooh, that's a trine to the north node. Oh, that is lovely. Okay, well, you know what? The nodes angling up and even Jupiter. Jupiter would increase optimism and fun and creativity and spouses going through that seventh house energy. I think I already talked about this, but it's usually more of a fun, optimistic time for partnerships. And in the seventh house, I would think maybe a little, yeah, let me go check this real quick. And then, yeah, there's just a lot that gets triggered in your chart. And it looks like you have a lot of positives and then you've got some negatives. So it might require looking at another chart because you have a lot of things connecting. And they're not all like, oh shit, you know? Some of them are really beneficial. So the first wave of Jupiter may be doing something that would be a surprise. You are going to have Jupiter trining your Uranus in the 11th house. Yeah, so this is September. The beginning of September. This is friendships, but this is maybe help and assistance. It's the 11th house. It's Jupiter trining Uranian energy, friends, group energy, but it can be the courtrooms and the court system. There can be a benefit there. There can be beneficial assistance. And Saturn up in the sky is even going to be trining your Uranus energy as well. And that talks about a surprise and something new. It can be disruptions, though. I'm not going to lie. Uranus can also mean disruptions. And your Eris will be involved. Now, this is the end of August, beginning of September, and it might even come a few weeks earlier, actually, because your Eris gets triggered and she gets angry. Eris is where I get mad. And it's about my independence. It's about my freedom. It's about my right to exist. So there is some interesting stuff here. And then, of course, you got a lot of stuff going through your eighth house. So, yeah, we'll have to, because I'll be diving down this chart forever. There, you just have a lot of stuff that's connecting. And this is also at the same time, right? End of August, beginning of September, where this Pluto is touching in with your natal sun in your first house. And it will trine your Chiron, the wounds there. But that talks more about a healing of those wounds. I think we even went over this. I'm just getting like the same information. You know, cleaning up the past kind of thing, where we're healing wounds from some other time, and we receive understanding, and we're changing, and we're transforming them. And again, Venus is still in your ninth house, and so to me, that's a benefit, and I'd be happy because my great benefic is where I want her to be in terms of the courtroom. And your natal Venus is in Pisces. Oh, yeah. 20 degrees, Scorpio degree. Bonded stuff, bonded values, bonded money, bonded resources in your second house. See how that's connected? Yeah, that's a direct connection to that for you. Uh, 10 is 9 degrees. Yeah, either way, what I would focus on is, we can take another look at another chart another time. And so I can get onto another name. Otherwise, I'll be there forever. And we'll see how that other chart looks. Like if it reinforces some of the things here, or it can show us some other things like that are either more negative or more positive, and kind of put it all together and see. But having the Venus, like I said, in that house of the law is good. But you have a change coming either way, because it's not just the Pluto sitting conjunct on your sun. It's, well, right now you have the Pluto squaring, going backwards and squaring your natal Pluto. Yeah, you do. Pluto's at 5, but it's touching in with that natal Pluto, the shared resources, and making changes. And it is at 4 degrees. So your Pluto itself talks about the past, but it can also be home and family. So your first house, the way you express and communicate and stand out uniquely, and that 4-degree Pluto. Yeah. If anything major change would be brought about, yeah, with that Pluto. And at that time, the Jupiter's still in Cancer. But here's the other thing, really quickly. The 7th house is also like lawyer energy. It's the 7th house. So having Jupiter flow through there and it being in Leo energy, yeah, it might be very, optimistic for you. It might be some good news. Next time we look, you should probably pay attention to the Mercury retrograde, since you have Cancer energy and Mercury does a retrograde, and it'll stop right on your descendant. So something there with partnerships for sure, and possibly law. Ah. Yeah. Interesting. Alrighty, let me go on. Who's still here? Watkinson's cat house, and after Watkinson's cat house, Fairy there. Are you here? And if Fairy there isn't here, then it's going to be, I'm just saying, G333. Fairy there, you're up next if you're here. Let me know. Come in the chat. Do a roll call and say hello. Oh, Fairy there left. Fairy there left. Okay, no problem. Fairy there had to leave. So after Fairy there, whose chart am I reading? Is G333 here? Yeah. All right, who's all here? Check in. Otherwise, oh, hello, hiking with Jackie boy. How are you? All right, Fairy there said, I'm okay, got it. Fairy there, okay, I'm confused. She said, okay, see you next time. Yeah. That's the test. I get it. I'm just reading that now, Donna. Yeah, I guess so. G33 is here. Okay, then you're up. It's your turn. It is your turn. Let me get your stuff. Did you have a question? Do you have something in specific? If you do, let me know right now. Otherwise, we're just going to go with what jumps out. Let me see here. Oh, no. Okay, so I think sometimes I scroll too damn fast. And I'm like, I don't see Okay, okay. And I know I've read your chart before. Matter of fact, I remember saying I'm putting you in as G333, so it would be easier, but why do I have you ever been here under a different name? This is so wild. How come I don't see you? Oh, what the hell? Oh, maybe I did your full name. I think that says IL. Yeah, my eyeballs are. Nope, I don't have it here under IL either. ILG. What the heck? How many times have I read for you? I thought it was a couple of times. Maybe it was only one time and maybe I didn't save it. I guess that's possible because no, I don't see it. This is so weird. I mean, what the heck? Unless somehow it got put under a different name. I think you had ILI. Yeah, I just looked through all the freaking eyes. I don't see nothing. And I do remember the G33, and I remember putting that in there. Well, what are your digits? Because I'll be sitting here talking about how I remember this. Wait a minute. I have Lisa G333. Is that you? I'm sorry. That's probably you. Is that what it is? I put the words Lisa. I should probably change that. Okay, let me put this up here and then you tell me if this is you. This is, let's get rid of that so we can see you. This is a Taurus rising at 1956. Gemini sun at 21 and a moon, Aries moon at 13. Yeah, I've definitely read your chart more than once. I think this is you. Why did I have it in here as Lisa? Because it doesn't look like your name says Lisa. It looks like it says, who am I kidding? Yeah, ILIG. Yeah, that's what it says. All right, let me switch that around. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Yeah, we'll do that. Create, update. Okay, did you put a thing in there? What am I looking at? What am I focused on? 3 times look for the, yeah. I did. Why I couldn't find them, I don't know. But we got it now. Just what's most important. Okay. Those are the, yeah, let's see what comes through here. Get this up here and take a peek. Yeah, your Scorpio energy is popping out. Well, that's nice. A nice change. Before it was the Aries all the time. Now it's Scorpio. Especially the, it's really funny because you and the other chart, not that your degrees are the same on your Plutos, but hers was at 4 with her Pandora, and your Pandora is right there with your Pluto as well. Not many degrees off. You guys are pretty close. So when the Pluto up in the sky goes retrograde, I believe it goes back to like 304. Yeah, that's what it says, 304. So you know what? That is actually not that big of a deal for you then. But it will go back and sit right there on your Pandora's box. Do you know the story about Pandora? And you have something right next to it too. I think that's Pele. It is protecting your property and your space. What brings out the fiery spirit in you? Uh-oh. Whether it's focused on a goal or reacting into fights and disruptions, sometimes to the point of being overwhelmed by such passions. So this would be shared property. Like this is domestic energy in that 6th house. And it can also be work, like where you work at. It's a day-to-day routine type of energy, but talking and communication style. And what's tricky with the Scorpio energy is the anger the agitation, the irritation. It's power plays with Scorpio energy, sometimes psychologically, because that's one of their superpowers. So this could be a challenge for yourself and for others. And here's the bigger picture on all of that. And Donna kind of kicked the day off with this, the live stream off with this, which was, other people presenting whether their difficulties, the gossiping, whatever the heck it was, but it creating a bit of a challenge because that's stuff that's easy to slip into. And this is at 3 degrees here. So this actually is really relevant. It totally pairs up with what Donna was talking about too. Communication style and our thoughts. And sometimes the thing is, the irritation, the agitation, the impatience, the ready to rumble type of energy, sometimes if it doesn't have a good outlet, right, it'll kind of instigate. Actually, it can even instigate. And when that occurs, there's this teaching that it builds up physical energy, like the manifestation in the physical body. And this would, be important for somebody with the Scorpio in their 6th house, like just knowing that ahead of time, right? Knowing that is more than half the battle, as they say, because the 6th house is the place of health. It's also the place of healing, and Scorpio can also represent healing energy. So healing the mind, healing the thoughts, change and transformation with shared values, with my values, because Pluto will be standing still at 3 degrees right on top of your Pandora. And what happens with Pandora is once that box is opened, it reveals basically kind of like our shadow side. The software calls it like the evils of the world. That's a bit over the top, a bit dramatic. But it's the whole idea of recognizing that there is something other than the not so great stuff in that box. One of the last items in it is hope. And so hope is there in that box. So it speaks about breaking out of a rut, the desire to break out of a rut over the day-to-day routines. So that can be coworkers, that can be, I don't know, next door neighbors, siblings, people who are peers, who are close by. That's what this is. So the timeline real quick on that for you is going to be when Pluto gets there and the retrograde begins ahead of time. And actually, there's a separate video that I have recorded that's going to come out, which is going to be really important for anybody who has, like you have here, anybody who's got Pluto and Scorpio, really anybody who has stuff in Scorpio and even stuff in Taurus. But I think it's especially if you have a natal Pluto that's going to be involved like you do. It's a great example. The Pluto at 4, the Pluto at 2, Pluto at 3. These are great examples of how important this Pluto retrograde actually is. It's huge. It is so huge. I'll tell you a little tidbit of it. It's extremely rare. This particular retrograde is not going to happen again for thousands of years. And it's not just because it's in the Aquarian energy. It's the type of energy that this particular Pluto is going to hold. It's extremely rare. Thousands of years. Hello. Not in our lifetime. Holy shit. So the change and the transformation and the intensification of Pluto energy, the revealing of what's been hidden, what's been buried. All right, so this is in October. That's what I was looking for. The date. And honestly, let me kind of jump on that really quick. Let me jump forward. Because of the degrees, it's going to happen before then for you. Not by a whole bunch, but it's going to be, let me see. Okay, we got to back up a little bit more. All right, so this cycle is going to go from, I'm going to give you a bigger window just to have kind of a preparation. So day-to-day routines in home and at work, okay? But can also be part of your health routine. 6th house is also pets, by the way. And so we can create new habits and new routines. 6th house. September 8th. And from September 8th to December, okay, around the same time, December 8th. September 8th to December 8th. So that gives you a nice, heads up for that timeline where you're being asked to be flexible, because Scorpio energy doesn't want to make those changes, doesn't like to change. But again, 3 degrees, what I'm talking about, what I'm thinking about, how I'm communicating, who I'm communicating with, coworkers, peers, neighbors, and siblings, and your goals, your long-term goals. It's a stress and tension. So that is what jumped out for you. Okay. Alrighty. Well, I don't know if that's most important, but that's what jumped out. Hopefully, hopefully it makes sense. Hopefully you're able to be like, oh, I think I know what that is. All right. Okay, so that was Watkins. That was okay. All right. Anyone else? Going, gone? Otherwise, yep. We're here trying to pick up the extra folks that I end up not having enough time for with these extra live streams. Crystal asked, what digits would those be? Crystal, I don't know if you're still here, but this is astrology digits. So that would be your birthday, birth year, your birth location, and birth time would be excellent. That's how we get the greatest accuracy. I don't, but I have a feeling my ex-husband's 7th house is Sagittarius. Huh. I'm just reading what Watkins said. I don't, but I have a feeling my ex-husband's 7th house is Saggy. Huh. Well, there's a really easy way to figure that one out. I mean, I'm just saying. That's a difficult energy for committed relationships. I see it time and time and time again. It's a challenge. Okay, Watkins. Yeah, the date. Wow. Okay. Yeah, you are welcome. Absolutely. And okay, anyone else? We're counting down here. If there's nobody else, then we're going to shut it down. Yep. It's a free reading just to help people out. And then we're going to move on. All right, come on. Come on in, get on the chat, say hello. What is this? Hide current comment. Let me do that. Let me see what that says. Hide current comment? How do I undo that now? Shit. What did I just do? Why would I want to hide the current comments? I would like to hide the old comments, not the current ones. Oh, let's check the phone. That might help. No, the phone never helps. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we're. Anyone else? Astrology. We look at charts. Okay. So what I'm going to do then, I see every now and then someone's popping in. Let's go. Let's see your chart. Let's take a peek. I mean, let me see here. What if I go like this? Let's look at the technology. And I don't know if Donna's still here. Donna, have you had any problems with your YouTube channel, like with the tech stuff? The chat is eating comments, somebody said. Interesting. Yeah, what the hell's that's what I was just about to put on the screen. Yeah, whoever wants to go. Donna, you been having any problems? Get your digits in the chat. Your birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. The chat seems to be eating comments. Jason, yeah, you can go, but I got to have your digits. So if you're in the chat and if you throw your digits down there, then that tells me that you want to go. But if you're in the chat and you don't have your comments or you don't have your digits, then I'm like, okay, so do you just want to talk? Oh, thank you. Very good, Jason. Yeah, we go in order, but you're the only one who's got their digits. I mean, I went and did everybody else's already. So here, let's go to the next person. You're the next person with their digits in the chat. That went through. It did. It did. It went through. Woohoo. Get your digits in. Something's happening. I know. It's insane. I'm telling you. It's the technology in the sky. It's Pluto, it's Saturn, or it's Pluto and the sun, and it's the north and the south node. It'll drive me to drink yet. Okay, let's go, Jason. You've got, hey, Illinois. Well, what city in Illinois? Are you north? Is this Chicago birth? Chicago, Illinois, or what? All right, I'm getting your stuff in right now, October 15th. I'm Illinois as well, Jason. Myself and all my siblings. October. Oh, wow. I have to learn how to spell October. Yeah, if you have a location that will help immensely. I'm loving that you have birth time. Thank you. And some folks don't have their birth time. And if you don't have your birth time, then just tell me you don't. Don't make up a birth time. Just tell me you don't. I'll create a noon hour chart. And in the meantime, what I would recommend is, as long as you know the county you were born in, you should be able to go online and order a birth chart. That's usually, at least in the United States. That's typical. So that means there might be some weird instance where it's not possible. That's possible. I'm not the birth chart god. I don't know, how that works everywhere. But normally if people do that, they have success. And there's usually a small fee. And you usually have to wait. You might have to wait. You might have to wait like 6, 8 weeks, maybe 9 weeks. Just depends. So Jason, I drew your chart up, but I didn't have, let me go check the chat. If you dropped in it is Chicago. Okay. What do you know? That's what I threw on the screen. Okay. Excellent. So what I have here I don't know if you've seen your chart before, but this is I kinda need you to confirm this for me. If you've seen yours before, let me know. I got a Scorpio on the ascendant at 16 and an Aquarius moon at 11. At 11 exactly. Wow, no minutes. Interesting. Oh, you got Venus and Mars together in Virgo up here, if this is you. Wow. Ooh, is this you? Creativity on the midheaven, talking? Ooh, you got Leo up there, performance. Very serious, hardworking. This is CEO boss energy. Hello. But sales, talking, yeah. 27 Leo, sometimes these are people who are like, you know, sometimes they're good singers, but it might be tricky with Saturn in that 10th house at that placement. Look at you, 11th house. Mercury's in your 11th, and you got the sun there. So, friends, social circles, Uranus is a big deal in your chart. Ooh, okay. Wow, and Jupiter. All right, let me get confirmation. Do you think this is your chart? Yeah, you don't have to be just born in the United States. It's wherever you were born. The map, the astrology will draw the chart up for you regardless of where you were born. Oh, very good. I see you got it. Excellent. Good job. I've seen it, but I don't know how to read it. No, I understand that part. But do you think this is you? Sometimes, especially on a day like today, where the technology is a little funny and it's glitchy. So I like to make sure that I'm reading the chart that's really yours. Meaning the chart I'm looking at's accurate. So if you're a Scorpio rising at 16 degrees, this is about your appearance. And yeah, 16 degrees is moon energy. Huh. Jeez. This would be highly empathic energy. Physically. But Scorpio by itself is already really psychic. And you got Scorpio in the 12th house. So yeah, that's the placement where we just know shit, and you even have Pluto in your 12th house. You just know stuff. So when people just know stuff, they can usually get by. They can usually get by without seeking, assistance or guidance from anybody because and you even have freaking Jupiter and Saggy at 9 degrees at a Jupiter degree. Good God. Jupiter's your great benefic. Must be nice. That can be a little tricky in the first house, though, sometimes. Sometimes that means there can be moments in a person's life where there may be a big fluctuation in their appearance. This is traveling energy and adventure. These can be people who, Saggy's like, the centaur, half human, half horse. But travel, long distances. Sometimes these are like the marathoners or the people who get in a plane or people who, yeah. But there can also be fluctuations, physical fluctuations, maybe even in weight, but in appearance, because you have Uranus there as well. You have Jupiter and Uranus conjunct. Whoa. And you even have the moon on your second house cusp line by degree. So it's the moon. Oh, Lord. So do you feel like you're carrying a lot of soul stuff, a lot of karma? Because that's what I got. With the moon sitting there on that second house cusp line like that. Feminine energy. Yikes. Yeah, because you have a lot of strong feminine energy, even though your Venus is up there. So Jupiter, let me see. Oh, yeah, you do. You got 20 degrees on the 9th house cusp line. Cancer, yeah. Absolutely. You got 29 degrees in 2 places, 20 degrees in 2, okay, 16. So that 27 and the 25, okay. It's really fascinating to just read house cusp lines. You can tell a lot. There can be struggles at times for self and independence and significant one-on-one relationships. Um, and the confusion maybe sometimes because the line of the borderline between friendships and crossing over into maybe something a little bit more. But this includes partnerships and the starting and initiating of those, but also your own freedom and independence. Oh, Lord. So, yeah, if this is you, home and work, where your Taurus energy sits, and partnerships, values, money, banking, pretty, good, beautiful, fine arts, food, even being creative with food. But just, this is an energy that is going to love the earth, going to love nature. But if it's excessive, if it's extreme, then greed becomes a thing, and it forgets like its earthy nature and its connection to the earth, and it goes extreme, and it's like, just give me gold, god damn it. But the whole point of that was to say that Taurus in the domestic part, like where I live and the people I live with, and my things are my things. Don't touch my things. Like that would be Taurus in the home. It could be tricky. The desire energy can go really strong. So again, I don't know if this sounds like you, but that's what I'm reading for, so that we can pinpoint if this is really you. But yeah, drawn to feminine energy in relationships, possibly. You've got moon energy there, so this can be mom and moon energy, but also the public. Sometimes when people have the public on the descendant, their job involves like working with the public in some way, a connection to the public in some way. And that can span, that can be big or it can be small. It can be, the person who's the postal carrier and they're delivering mail to someone's house, right? So that's the public. But your nodes are in your second and your eighth house. So there's like a lot of strong energy with history here and like soul's energy. And there's a knowing, which is like a superpower, a quest to learn and to see life from other people's point of view. This is like seeking and searching for wisdom and higher knowledge, but this is like one of your superpowers. So you already have established this wisdom from another time. There is the art of communication. There can be a tendency to keep seeking and searching. There can also be a tendency of possibly over focus. And then on the flip side of that, times where, I don't know, diving into the deep, into the occult, into the past, and literally being able to talk about that with peers, neighbors, siblings, coworkers, just people that you see in the regular every day. Do y'all have deep conversations? If you don't, you're supposed to. I'm just sharing what your chart shows, if this is your chart, because then that can bring about a healing. It's the ability to talk and to communicate about those things. Talk about wounds, talk about vulnerabilities. Then, of course, this is vlogging, blogging. This is all podcasting shit. This is all a little bit of that. And so what I do like about this, if it's like a podcasting type of stuff or using your voice in some way, is with the Leo on the midheaven, this would have an authoritative voice. These people can become politicians, people who have positions of power, but it's because they can use their voice to speak for others as well. Yeah, and that trines Neptune in your chart. So this would even talk more about being creative and possibly musically inclined, sound, theater, visuals. But it's more performative energy, but again, it's more politician energy too, having the ability to do that and to be that. And here's the other thing in your chart, you have a 29-degree Pluto. If this is your chart, This is the where it's located, insignificant one-on-one relationships. This is like what's the word I want to use? It's more than just sage energy. It's like it's just that it's more than just a monk in a monastery too. It's got kind of that vibration of deep changes, powerful deep changes, and demanding that within relationships, but knowing that in those relationships, if people aren't growing, if like change isn't part of the process, then you're probably ending those relationships in whatever way it is that you do it. Like because this demands growth. Pluto demands change and it demands growth. This is also diplomacy. It is lawyer energy also. It is law and lawyer energy. And yeah, relationships, personal and professional relationships. So that 29 degrees demands a lot. Oh, so this does sound like you. Oh, good. Okay, that's great. That's kind of the best way is to just let somebody read it and be like, okay, is this them? So there is a word for that 12th house energy. You have Saturn there, and that Saturn talks about work. And I have my window open. It looked like I don't know, fire truck or something. And bonded energy. And you said you haven't found, I just flipped over to those comments and I saw where you said, haven't found people to have the deep talks about. Okay, well, here's part of that reason in your chart, your 12th house right here. I have Saturn lit up. Pluto rules that Scorpio energy, but the 12th house is the hidden. It means these people, like you said, you can't see them. They're hidden from you. And so Scorpio is that deep stuff as well. We have it in multiple places in our chart. All right. So it is the 12th house. And if you're not able to access it and find it in your life, that's because the 12th house talks about on the other side of the pond. It's far from your home. It's far from where you are. You might have to literally connect with foreigners to have those sort of deep conversations. Sometimes people just, make a phone call, use the internet to travel as opposed to, getting in a plane and traveling. But you can do that as well. But this talks about your homeland being somewhere else because you got Pisces in the fourth. So this talks about maybe mom was absent or there was some confusion about mom. Not that mom's not your mom. I mean, this can look a lot of different ways because the fourth house is mother wounds. But ancestry, where did I come from type of thing, where's my family from, because it's Pisces energy. Or even it can go the other extreme, which is Pisces can be, other than like political figures, they're usually like major figures, even royalty even. So there might be a little bit of that in the family line somewhere because you've got all just Pisces, you've got a lot of Pisces there. And anytime people have water in the water houses, there's just a crazy amount of depth. There's a crazy amount of stuff with their ancestry. So whether you know about it or not, might be worth a whirl to look some stuff up and to find out. Sometimes when people start digging, they find out some shit they just never imagined. Your father figure is also in the 12th house, which is interesting because it's also work. But maybe dad worked a lot, maybe dad was absent. But this also would signify like a deep bond with dad, a soul bond. It doesn't have to mean you and dad were close, okay? There's history here, karma. 12th house is karma in past lives. Or however y'all want to look at it. Whatever feels better. Use whatever terminology you want to use. We just don't have the proper terminology to talk about like, previous, not even previous time, simultaneous timelines, however you want to look at it. but there's residue. There's energetic residue here with rules, order, structures, long-term goals, career, commitment to bonded energy. And so this could represent like a lack of, or it's taking a long time and there's a delay, or it's confusing. Like there's just something about it where it's like, what the hell, man? That always seems to be like just, out of my reach type of thing. Yeah. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Okay, you have Juno at the opposition of your Saturn. And see that's that can delay partnerships. Whether it's serious marriage relationships or just, it can delay those because there's like this opposition, this push-pull type of thing of like a tug of war, what I want or what we want, but what we want, what our soul bonds and our connections are, yeah, they're kind of hidden. So your Taurus, pronounced Taurus energy, which can be really stubborn. And I'm only saying that because it's what the chart shows. Really stubborn with things that you value, with things and people that you value. I always make a joke that I hold up my pen, and I'm just like, but this is mine. This is mine, damn it. And it's a pen that, well, might cost $7 now. I don't know. But, it's just some pen. It doesn't have any real meaning to it, but it's mine. It's freaking mine. I paid for it. But on the flip side, Taurus energy can be can take really good care for those that it does share space with because it's Taurus. It likes good quality stuff. It wants things that are beautiful. Absolutely. So if you think this sounds like you, this is good. That wisdom and that superpower is that Sagittarius at 17 South Node. So your goal for wait, let me double check. Your soul's goal have to plan some trips. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well then I'm good. I'm flipping back over here. I am stubborn. Dad was absent in the beginning, but was close towards it. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Mom relationship is complicated. Yep. Pisces, that would absolutely make it complicated. Where's your moon? How come oh, this is why it's complicated, by the way. It's in the house of communication. That's where your moon is, and moon is mom. Being in the house of communication, this can say that maybe mom has some strong Aquarius energy. Maybe mom can appear to be detached and cold at times. Maybe mom wanted to be more like either a peer or a sibling, as opposed to being mom. Maybe mom was just always really busy. Maybe mom was always hanging around her friends. Like there's a lot of different ways this can go, and it can be a little bit of all of that stuff. But different and unique and group energy within the home and the family. Did you have a lot of siblings? Because this is the house of the siblings. But just really crazy busy energy. Third house, talking, communication, different, unique, disruptive. This has got a scientific bent to it for sure. This is technology. So you having your moon in Aquarius means that not only astrology, but technology would be like emotionally satisfying for you in some way, using tech. And friends as well would be, because you've got the 11 degree there, strong inclination for technology. But yeah, the Gemini energy, third house, can be tricky in kind of being contrarian in the way I communicate. So someone may appear and speak this way, which might be kind and, this and that. And then all of a sudden they like, what the hell just happened? All of a sudden it's like, you don't know what happened. They shut it off. There's an attitude. Who the hell knows? And it's tricky, very tricky. But contrarian to the extreme and rebelliousness, holy shit. Yeah. That could be kind of wicked with an 11 degree moon. You got a lot of stuff at 11 degrees in your chart, my friend. Science, astrology, space, technology. Look at your Mercury, really Holy shit. You have a lot of stuff at 11 degrees. All right, let me move along. So yeah, I'm going to save your chart. Sounds like, if that sounds like you, then I'm saving this, and then you can come back another time and we'll take a look. I got to spend more time and see who else is, if there's anyone else here. Let me see who we got. Is there? Okay, so I hope that helped. And all right, so we did Jason. Yeah. So we do this normally. I'm usually here on Tuesdays. It's a surprise live, so I can go live any day, Monday through Fridays. But for whatever reason, Tuesdays around this time seem to be working out. But I'm also every Saturday night on this channel. Every Saturday we do something. 2 of those Saturdays, you'll see us literally doing the same exact thing we're doing here. The other 2 Saturdays, one is an astrology class and the other one is the live stream, but we do it privately. So it's a little bit more in depth, but it's a very small, limited group. So anybody can just send me an email, allastrology@gmail.com. It's at the bottom of the screen. Reach out. Let me know if you're interested in any of those things, and then I'll communicate back to you and we can go from there. So, okay. So who else is here? Let's check in. All right. So do other countries work? I saw that. Yes. Sunny Cobb, birth time, 11:30 a.m. Very good, Sunny Cobb. I think you're next, but I would need birth location and a birth date as well. All right, next. Here's a person who's got it all. Excellent. Are you still here? Oh, Lord. I really want to say your name, but I don't know how to say that. Shiroyama. How about that? I'll start at the S. Shiroyama? I don't know. I know I'm chopping the hell out of it. No, that's okay. Don't apologize. No, your questions are not weird. Do not apologize. No, that is part of the mission of the channel. Otherwise, why else would I just do this just like this? It's part of learning. It absolutely is. It's to get people to just consider something they wouldn't have ever considered before, and to see the connections of how your energetic blueprint is actually on a piece of paper. And it's like, holy shit. So ask away. Yeah, the questions are good. Okay, let me get are you still here though before I keep oh yeah. Shiroyama. Oh, thank you for doing that. Shiroyama. Yay. Oh my God. Awesome. You're here and I said it, or I'm kind of saying it right. I got it now that you did it. All right, let's get those digits in here. Let me get your chart drawn up. So you're new. So what we'll do is we'll just take a look at I'll read the chart that comes up, and then it should sound like you. You should be able to say, oh yeah, that sounds like me. If it doesn't sound like you, then we got something wrong. Oh, the air conditioning just went on. Oh, we're going to see how that goes. All right, you're a November. November 19th, 1988. 5:31 p.m. And yeah, I definitely don't know. WALDBRO. Let's check this out. Okay. Let me see if I spelled it right. They're giving me a hard time. WALD. Oh, I did spell it wrong. Now let's see what they say. I forgot the L. It's giving it to me. Let's see. Let's get this in here. All right, this is showing. All right, so Okay. Ooh. Okay, you got a lot of Scorpio energy. I'm seeing all the Scorpio you have. Pluto, Mercury, vertex at 5. Interesting. Saturn at 0 in Capricorn with Uranus right there. A moon at 4 degrees. Self. Ooh, shit. Conjunct Mars. Okay, let's start there. Home and family. How do you feel about that? Was mom on the feisty, spicy side? Um, there can be a lot of impatience for sure, because this is showing Mars and Moon conjunct. Easily irritated, agitated, maybe a little bit. The whole leadership thing, needing to be leading, that would be this combination. This may be quite military, like a military service, but taking action. So whether it's with weapons or whether it's just with my body, where I have to be physically free and independent, and I got to feel, this might be somebody like on the motorcycle where they feel like they're flying, in the wind type of thing. Because this would be really important if this is you. Feeling like your 11th house is complex here. It talks about your high ideals. Freedom's going to be big, but at the same time, you have this lovely combination of unity and oneness. So it's service and sacrifice, but yet needing to lead the pack. And if you don't get a chance to do that, or if you don't have scheduled enough independent time, and yeah, if you don't have enough independent time scheduled for yourself, then there can be a problem. Talking and communicating, you're going to have some really freaking psychic energy as well, in case I didn't mention that. I mean, I know I said Scorpio, but 3 degrees, 5 degrees, 3 degrees, 10 degrees. Okay. Yeah, you have a Mercury at the Scorpio degree. Holy shit. Unbelievably psychic. If you're not talking with people who are checking in with you from the other side, well, yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Mom's probably a little fun as well. Is mom fun? Although, wow, the independent energy shows up again on your 4th house cusp line. Wow, but it's in Leo. So mom can play the role of mom and dad, possibly. Yeah, this is interesting. Dad can be, you have Saturn in Capricorn, which says work, serious work, maybe cold. But you do have it connected to Uranus energy, which again is shocks and surprises, restrictions, slowdowns. But it's that energy that needs to be free. It literally needs, it's like an astronaut. Like these people are often up and running, not running, they're in a goddamn spaceship. They're taking off the planet, literally. But maybe working towards something that is super unique. Technology is involved. Visionary kind of energy. Seeks and teaches new visions for humanity. Super. These people are like inventors, actually. So now here's the thing. This is in your 7th house of significant relationships. So even though dad energy is there, many times there can be similar things that we see, like for people who we might consider to be in a relationship. There can be serious traits like hardworking, might be ethical, upstanding, where their reputation means everything. That might be a very serious thing. But it's also the energy of slowing down significant one-on-one relationships, which means sometimes people can't get married till much later in life. But being conjunct Uranian energy, um, yeah, this would almost be like, I gotta be free kind of energy. Yeah, whether it's you that feels that way, but it can be the partner can feel that way because you've got like this authority figure. These are like the two bosses together in your seventh house. So this would be like extreme rules, extreme restrictions, sudden and disruptive. Somebody older, possibly. Yeah, that can kind of be tricky. Let me see what you got. So we talked about mom and home. Mom could be fun, but very independent energy, maybe into her friends as well. There's group energy involved. Your great benefic is going to be Venus, and she's in Libra. This would actually be a big benefit, a huge benefit to your chart. You got a huge kite in your chart. You got a lot of powerful stuff. But this Venus is very important. She is about harmony and fairness and equality and balance and beauty and diplomacy. And when I speak, it should just, there's something about it that it should be receptive. It should be easy for somebody to take in and to hear. You want to be fair. This would be at home. This would be at work. And she's your benefic, so she can bring you friendships, significant one-on-one relationships that have strong feminine qualities. And yeah, that provides support and brings gifts. Venus is our love language. So equality and fairness is going to be big in this chart. And I think that's huge because you have some strong things, like that Saturn and Uranus is a big deal. And the Mars and the moon together is a really big deal in the 11th house. This is such strong rebellious energy. It's crazy. And having your Pisces there, I think really saves you from possibly going overboard into some extreme things sometimes. Wow, your vertex and your karma energy are next to each other. Wow. So your karma is domestic, but it's also health. All this stuff in your sixth house is health. And you have a health report card right there. It's things that are kind of internal, can be digestion, abdomen area, can even be, Scorpios kind of stuff. They talk about how that's all the, Scorpio and like the private areas of the body, the really private areas of the body with the Scorpio. They talk about Scorpio in terms of like sex and physical intimacy, emotional bonds, attachments. So this would be a big cue for you, especially if you ever have any sort of health stuff, is the attachments and the connection to the kind of Scorpio fixed energy with my own health and well-being. Huge. That would be huge. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you think this sounds like you? Great. Oh, wow. Oh, good. Yes, she is indeed scarily accurate. Well, now you know. Now you know. If this is your first time, this is your astrology. Isn't it crazy? It is. It's crazy. The revelation, like when you see it and read it and hear it, it's like, holy shit. Hey, Lou S., how are you doing? Just listen, no problem. That's really me. It's kind of hard for me to commit to something or someone. I'm so glad you used the word commitment. That's also that Saturn energy that I pointed to. That Saturn at 0, it's extreme. 0 degrees means it's really extreme. Saturn says, if we're going to do this, we are doing this for the long haul. That's Saturn. So commitment, commit long term, perfect keyword. Yeah. But just so you know, okay, so you can see this in your own chart, there's a tendency to be a bit extreme with it, not only because it's at 0, but because Uranus is there. Okay. So, yeah, partnerships, Juno. Practical partnerships might help where you can see that somebody would be a good fit in a very practical way. That might be an angle if you haven't had any luck. And you may not have any desire. I'm not trying to push you that way. I'm just saying in general, but Sagittarius energy is hard anyway. I was just saying that in the chart earlier. Sagittarius energy is very difficult. Has a hard time with it's not that Saggy doesn't care. It's Sagittarius. It is on this journey, man. It's got to keep searching and seeking. And if it makes that sort of a commitment, then it's some of its freedom is diminished. And that's just the reality, right? Sagittarius is really tuned into that. They're going to be, a part of them is going to be really aware of that at all times. Oh, wow. You must have active. Do you feel like you get information in your sleep? Yeah, you have Gemini in the 12th. You have Taurus, but you have Jupiter at 1 degrees, which means you have Uranus sitting here right now. Look at this. Yeah, you had Uranus exactly on it. Uranus is already now at 146. This could have been like a whole big wake-up call. Holy crap. It says to expect unexpected events. Life will suddenly change, taking you in a new direction. This can be good if you're looking for excitement and new challenges, such as a new job opportunity or new relationships, new communications, for sure, with Gemini energy, new learning, curiosities with Gemini. You will enjoy a newfound sense of freedom during which you enjoy taking risks. Metaphysics, astrology, travel, science, computer technology may also fascinate you. In some cases, there can be a sudden turn downhill coming out of the blue, or a time during which you feel unsettled and unable to cope with the new turn of events. However, in most cases, you will enjoy exploring all the possibilities. So maybe that's what led you here. Is you've got the Uranus on the Jupiter, and Jupiter in Gemini is all about a thirst for learning. And in the 12th house, it's about the occult. It's about the hidden. It's about what's behind that door. Like that's the 12th house energy. And it is dreams. I would recommend writing down. If you have dreams, I would definitely recommend journaling for sure. You might find that there might be some connections that you might not have made before in the past to your life and the dreams that you have. It's a very good possibility. Yep. Okay, so what I'm going to do, since you said this sounds like you, we'll save you in this system. And let me look at the name again. I'm probably going to say it wrong. Let me go find out where you print the pronunciation in for my slow butt. Let me see. There you go. Shiroyama. I am putting you in the system. Some metaphor and imagery already, but I couldn't make sense of it. This is also poetry and creative writing, just so you know. Okay? Poetry and creative writing. Big time. So I would take advantage of this. You've got the sun floating through your 7th, through your 12th, the subconscious. The 12th house is your subconscious. That's why I recommend dreams, daydreams. You know, it's creative energy. 12th house is really creative. Some people write music, you know. Posh, hello. We're doing astrology readings, birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. Get your digits in. If you don't get your digits to me, then I go to the next name. Yeah, so we'll keep you in the system. And we're going to go on to another person. These are free readings. Unless somebody gifts the channel, then I spend more time on your chart. But in the meantime, we're just going to go to the next person. And I think we got, I don't know how much time we got. I think we got about 15 minutes left or so. Right? 3:30 to 5:30. Yeah, you are welcome. Yeah, remember every Saturday we do some stuff. Yeah. Alrighty. I am a musician. Oh, good. That makes sense. Okay, well then this is a good time to let's take it up a notch, I guess, and use that creative stuff. Write some music. I don't know. Posh Posh lives in Arizona. Okay, Posh Posh. If you're born in Jamaica, October 23rd, do you have a birth time? And I need a location, like a city that you were born in Jamaica. We try to narrow it down as much as possible because that's how we get the accuracy. Did you get a birth time in there too? Birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. If you don't have a birth time, be honest and say you don't have a birth time. And at that point, I I'll just create a new hour chart for you. All right, but let me go check back upwards and see. Born at midnight, October 31st. Okay, so we're going to do roll call. If you're still here, let me know because I'm not going to read if a chart. I don't want to create a chart unless you're here. Cookie, are you here? Cookie, I'm calling your name. October 31st, 1965 in London. I seem to get different results when I try to do my chart. I'm wondering if midnight causes errors. Yeah, you need a birth time. If you don't, so was the born at midnight on a birth, like, is this confirmed or did someone tell you that you were born at midnight? Or do you have like a birth certificate type thing? Yeah. Cookie, are you here? All right, let me read my stuff. Okay, Cookie. Let's see if I can see. All right, Cookie, going once, going twice. I don't see anything in the chat. Cookie might have left already. Oh, yes. Jason said, yes, I recently just cut off people. Yeah. Well, I'm glad it made sense. Okay. Karmic Karen's here? I didn't even see Karmic Karen. I see Donna saying hello to Karmic Karen. Okay, so Cookie, we're going past because Cookie didn't respond. So we're going on to the. Okay, Lou S. Donna. Well, Posh, I think you're the next person. What do you know? I don't know the time I was born. Okay, I'll create a noon hour chart then. Kingston. And you're in Arizona now. That's fine. So Kingston, Jamaica. Born on October 23rd. Yeah, we'll create a noon hour chart, which means the accuracy won't be as, you understand? So whenever you get the chance, try to see if you can get a birth certificate from Kingston. And if they can send it to you, sometimes you can go online and do that. I don't know how it works in Jamaica, so I shouldn't really speak about it, but see if that helps, see if that works, see if you can do that. Usually you pay a small fee, they get your birth certificate, and they tell you in a few months they'll have it shipped to you or they'll mail it to you. And that way you can get a birth time. All right, let's put Posh in here. Hey, what's the tea? How are you doing? I see you there. All right. What was that? October what? Okay, October 23rd. Okay. 1979. And so we'll give you a 12 noon chart. Holy shit, where did you go? Oh, Lord, did it just zap? Oh, okay, well, we're going to have to start over. Hold on a minute. And 12 noon. Okay. And we say Kingston. Yeah, that's better than nothing. Okay, let's get this chart up here. And let's see what we can work with here. There we go. Yeah, you are welcome, Shiroyama. Shiroyama. God, I love that name, Shiroyama. It's like Shiroyama. Yay. So Shiroyama, do you write music or lyrics? Or because I'm telling you, with the Gemini and the 12th, I'm like, please tell me you're doing something like that. All right, posh. I mean, I have people where, yeah, they can hear. Yeah, they can hear like the sound of the spheres. Ooh, look at this chart. Holy Scorpio. Is this a Scorpio day or what? Holy shit. Did I put a banner out that said calling all Scorpios? Scorpio moon, Mercury in Scorpio, Uranus in Scorpio, conjunct Venus. Look at that. Just a huge stellium in Scorpio energy. Okay. So let me go find, we'll start with that Scorpio moon. That's pretty much, yeah, we'll kind of stick with this. The Scorpio moon, crazy psychic energy. So yeah, 29 degrees. This is energy of change. And because your sun is also at 29 and it's in Libra, this creates crisis points in significant one-on-one relationships. They can be professional partnerships, but long-term commitments, crisis points. And because your moon is at 29, you demand growth. So if you are in these significant one-on-one relationships, and including professional relationships, and if you don't see the growth, right? Yeah, those relationships, if they're not going to grow, then it's time to go. That's just it. So whether you're aware of it or not, because Scorpio is extremely psychological energy, it's the undercurrents of our psyche. Okay. But having Scorpio here with all of this stuff, your Mercury says that when you communicate, you have a very authoritative tone. This is also the super detective of the Zodiac. You may even be an intuitive thing with health. Medical possibly could even be a thing. Medical intuition could be a thing for you, possibly. Ooh, you even have relationships over here at 22. Ooh, holy shit. Yeah, if you're not doing something, I would love for you to tell me, do you feel like you know things that you're like, well, how do I know this? And does it have to do, it can have, when we say medically, I'm only using the word medical because Uranus is here. And that can give us downloads of information like a lightning bolt, like it just comes in a flash. And you have it in the 11th house of science and technology and the brain. And these are rocket scientists, right? These are the people where they're connected to the spheres. This is astrology. These are the planets. And so they get information. But you have a strong strong water trine, which talks about, again, the psychology, the history, and the past. But Mercury's here, and then a health report card is down here. But it's a nice big trine in your chart, really strong trine. And it even shows that you have freaking, it's actually a kite, and Saturn's at the top of it. This is, again, taking care of somebody, nurses, but a boss. This is boss energy. The minutia, the details, cleanliness, hygiene, caregiving. Like these people, it can be go big or go home type of energy, but it is boss energy. This can be teaching, preaching, but it's doing the things that aren't real flashy. Other people might consider it not important because it's not big and bold enough. But when people have all this kind of Scorpio energy, they need to be doing shit that's deeply meaningful. That's what they're going to talk about. That's what they're going to do. And that's why change in relationships, if we aren't making meaningful growth, it's going to be like, It expects, it kind of demands growth. And it doesn't have to mean like in leaps and bounds growth. It just needs to be able to gauge that there is growth happening. And if it sees that it's not, that might be a problem for it. So that moon, the vulnerabilities are a big deal with the moon in Scorpio at 29. Vulnerabilities, trauma, the past, history, and mom. Was your mom deep? Was your mom really psychic as well? And you might have a lot of friends that might connect with mom energy for you, or that you may even find yourself, I don't know, kind of being the mom for them in some way. Heightened emotions are a big deal here. Intense relationships with your own mom. Yeah, usually crisis energy is a big deal here. A Scorpio can be possessive. Scorpio is attachments. Yeah, really strongly bonded energy. It's very fixed energy. And we, just so you know, we all have Scorpio somewhere in our chart. So this isn't like pick on posh posh time. This is just what the chart is showing me where your moon is at. And you have all this other stuff. So your Venus, your love language is in Scorpio. Here's a thing. If this is really your chart, like if we have the digits accurate, even though we don't have a birth time, your Venus is at the communication degree. Okay. So talking, writing, even about the esoteric, the mysteries, the deep, the wounds, the hurt, the past, talking and writing, communicating about these things will be healing. Scorpio is the healer. You follow? So, God, I hope you're using all this water energy, this great grand water kite that you have that has the work, what I do for a living, what I'm committed to for the long term, and building material financial security. You have it with Virgo, which is really practical. So it can take all this grand water trine energy and it says, okay, so how do I make this show up in the real world? Like in my tangible world, can I do this for a living? How can I take all of this power and create it so that it puts a roof over my head, food in my belly, clothes on my back? Very hardworking energy, especially the details and analytics, for sure. Can be very analytical. The Virgo might be striving for perfection, so it'd have to be cautious. You do have a North Node in Virgo conjunct Jupiter. So you'd have to be cautious on high ideals and perfectionism and being overly critical. Absolutely. Especially with deeply bonded energy and shared energy, shared values. And home, family, and mom comes up with that as well. Big time. Yeah. Partnerships. is even in boss energy in your chart. So this may talk about the relationship with mom again, because you have this strong trine with Juno. So even though mom could have been, let me see if you have any squares to that. I wasn't even reading that way. Let me see, 29. That is so strong though. But here's something that might be a piece that stabilizes the relationship with mom and family. We'll put it like that. And when I say mom and family, it can just be other people in your life that have nurturing qualities as well. Because you have a Juno, which is partnerships in your 7th house, feminine energy. Cancer, which means there needs to be people in your life that you would partner up with that feel familiar to you, that feel like they're part of your tribe. That would be really, really important in relationships, significant relationships. And it's an exact trine to your Mercury. These were people you could actually discuss deep shit with. You follow? Yeah. But group energy and friends, technology, if I didn't say, you might be streaming. I don't know. People, who the hell knows? Who knows? But communicating, creative writing, creative thinking, music, sound, a lot like the last chart in that way, because you also have some water here in the location of writing. 3rd house is the mind, so it can be dreamy and about fantasy, illusions and delusions and deceptions. So the thoughts and the talking and the communications might be a little on the dreamy side sometimes, but because of the nice trine you have, which you have multiple trines, multiple water trines. I feel like this would be a benefit if you're using it in a creative way, a big benefit in a creative way. And also, this is also healing institutions. That Pisces energy down here in this 3rd location, even though this house, I keep forgetting that this isn't your, we don't know the locations. So I just said your 7th house. I said your 11th house. Yeah, I just realized this isn't your birth time. I keep forgetting that. But some of this, actually all the stuff I said earlier should make sense if this is you. Especially the Virgo energy. Sometimes these can be accountants. These are people who pay attention to the receipts and the data and the details as well. Stuff that's not flashy. But usually Virgo energy does really well in like taking care of people one-on-one. These can be people who just provide the extra hand. They can be personal assistants. They can be, because of the details. But in the 9th house, this might even be like a clerk, like a law clerk or something, someone who's doing all the filing and organizing, because it's in the 9th house. Education, higher education, teaching, preaching. I got a cat at the door. Oh, she'll be fine. The only thing that makes this a little tricky in here, I keep saying the 9th house. My bad. Forget that 9th house thing. You do have Pandora's box there, and this can speak to dad energy. So that can have, maybe that made domestic life a little tricky, because that's even the dad degree. Ooh. So dad may have been like over the top critical even. That's a possibility. And very cold. That's a really good possibility. I kept thinking 9th house, because then the effect of Jupiter would have, I don't know, it could have put an optimistic, idealistic spin on it. But we don't know what house this is in because we don't have a birth time. But Pandora, she might make that Saturn energy of work, career energy, long-term commitments. She might make that a little on the tricky side. So I hope this makes sense for you. When you get a chance, get your birth time if you can, and then we can get your house, your chart with houses actually on it that are actually yours. Does that make sense? Yes, you are. Absolutely. You can't fool Scorpio energy when it's got that much Scorpio. And you're fortunate because your Scorpio energy, the only thing that's going to be a little bit tricky is because your third house cusp line has Pisces there. And Pisces, because it can just know things, but because it can just know things at times, it also assumes things because it may just know things at time, and they may be accurate for sure. But in the third house, which is information and details, that becomes blurred with I keep saying the third house. Forget that. Forget that. Forget that. Forget that. We need a chart with the birth time. That way we can talk in more details next time. How about that? Oh, I work in fintech, but starting my own business. Good idea, because you got the Uranian energy there. And yeah, I kept saying this was all in your 11th. So, yeah, and that moon is probably not even right at the degree, actually, without a birth time. My brain just starts reading. Yeah, you are welcome. You are very welcome. Okay, guys, it is after 5:30. We're ending. If anybody didn't get their chart, oh, zippity doo, look at that. Zippity doo's got everything. Zippity doo, come on back again next time. We'll be here next week, same day. Come on back and we'll get you in our system. It's usually, it's always a surprise. So you'll have to put the alerts on for when I go live. But Saturday night, we'll be live Saturday night on the channel. So where I live, I don't know where country you're in, but today is Tuesday. Yep, Tuesday, May 26th for me. Come back. Zippity will do. Come back on Saturday. We'll be doing this live stream. It might be a little bit different. We're going to see what we're going to kind of switch it up that night, but yeah. So yeah, Saturday is live, and every Saturday we do something on the channel, okay? And then we do surprise live streams during the week. So you got to make sure you have your little bell thingy majiggy on. That way we can do this. All right. And so if anybody ever wants to have spend more time on a chart, people who have the means, they just send a gift to the channel, and then I spend more time on a birth chart. It's that simple. Keep it simple. All right. So all the details are right below the live stream. And we're done. This is a wrap. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, everybody who hung out and who gifted the channel. I got a cat having a fit at the door because she's not, the door's not just automatically open. I don't know if y'all have that issue in your house. These girls, oh my God, if the doors are not left open for them to come and go, they let you know. All right, everyone. Thank you, everybody. You have a good rest of your day, and I will see you Saturday. Or if I don't see you sooner, I'll see you Saturday. Bye-bye.